Hi, Bolovies. Welcome to Community Living with your girl Malebu. Thank you for joining this week's episode. And if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe. And if you're stopping back by, welcome back, welcome back, welcome. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So thank you again for joining us. And then, if you haven't subscribed, but you're stopping back by again, please do remember to subscribe as well. And just for everyone that doesn't know by now, we're a financial literacy channel dedicated to young Black professionals. Okay, so this week's episode, what is it about? This is another test. So one of our very first videos was just test your financial literacy, right? So this is a know your finances. Let's just test, have you been paying attention in school? Class is in session. Okay, exam is in session actually. Class was in session for the past 5 months. Now we're testing, do you know your finances? Have you been paying attention? I've been screaming at the top of my lungs saying this and that and that and that, but this is the investment segment, right? It's all things investment because I am so big on investment. I am an investment enthusiast. So, and I really hope that the people that are following the channel, watching the channel, are also investment enthusiasts, because that's how we're gonna make millions, babes. That's how we're gonna make millions. Okay, one of the ways, it's not how, but one of the ways we're gonna get to the millions. Like, I'm gonna put it out there, I'm gonna put it out in the universe. I'm gonna make a mill. So I don't know about you, fam, but that's the spirit. That is the energy that I'm putting out in the universe. But yeah, so as I've said, it is the investment segment, and the very first question is, what is an equity, a stock, or a share, right? So what is an equity, a share, or stock? So if you didn't know, that is the same thing, right? I did mention it in multiple videos. Equity, stock, share, we're talking about the same thing. What is it? So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. Oh, guys, no, not 5 minutes. 5 seconds. You should be like, yeah, ma'am, yes, ma'am. That's the energy that I want today. That's the energy that I want. We know all the stuff I've been saying. So in multiple videos, as I've already mentioned. So equity, stock, or share, right? So an equity or stock or share is basically just means that you are buying a portion of a publicly listed company. And there's also a video that goes into equity, that there are 2 types of equity. It could be for publicly listed or for privately there was like privately listed, not privately listed, for a private company. So there is that component, but right now when I'm talking about equity, stocks, and shares, I'm talking about publicly listed companies, right? So it just means that you are buying a stake of a company A or B, or it's a security whereby you're buying a stake of company A or B, right? That is what an equity, or stock, or share is. In simple terms, we'll be going back to the basic. We're not going to complicate it. This is not about, do you know become 101 or whatever it is. Guys, I didn't do finance. We can go into it. So I was about to lie and try and whip out, what is it called, a module from the BCom side, and I realized I was gonna lie. And then, okay, where can you buy the equity, stocks, or shares, right? Where can you buy? So you can list any place that you know. So you can contact a stockbroker from the JSE, right, and buy directly from them. You can secondly, you can go to one of the investment houses, or you can go to your bank, right? Your bank has a segment that deals with just investments, and they can actually help you buy them. And my favorite place is DIY investor platforms, right? The way you just register, get FICA registered, and you can start being like an investor, and invest in the stock market, or invest in stocks, or invest in any type of security that's listed in the stock market that is on the platform that you're using, right? Not all platforms have the same things, and not all platforms have all the things that are listed on the stock market. So the best place, if you want everything that's on the stock market, is probably with a stockbroker. But remember, they'll charge you commission, and I'm not sure how much it is, but it's probably hefty. So yes, that is it when it comes to where you can buy this equity, stocks, or shares, or any type of security listed on the stock market or stock exchange, right? Then the third question is name 5 investment vehicles, right? Name any 5 investment vehicles that you know. So one is property. So a lot of people do not know this, but obviously when you buy property, you do not know how it's going to perform. It might appreciate, might depreciate. You might be able to, like, liquidate it immediately. So the thing about investment vehicles is that they have similar characteristics or properties. So yeah, property is one of them. I'm not going to go into why it is an investment vehicle, but you can do a lot of things with property, right? You can flip it, you can rent it, you can use it for hotel accommodation, whatever it is, rental purposes, all those things. And then the second one, I've already mentioned it, equity stocks or shares. That's an investment vehicle, right? You can also buy what is called ETFs that are very similar to unit trust, but also have a lot of stocks in them. And yeah, so I've already mentioned unit trust. A unit trust is one of the investment vehicles that you can go into. Another investment vehicle is a mutual fund. The word's like mutual fund. The fifth investment vehicle is a mutual fund, right? So there are other investment vehicles that you can go into. We've got livestock investments, right? So alternative investing or impact investing, we can go into that. There are multiple investment vehicles out there, but we're not going to list all of them. We're just naming the top 5 just so that we know that there are quite a number of investment vehicles out there. So we don't just go into one and think that that is the only investment vehicle. We diversify, right? When we diversify purposefully, we don't just diversify for the sake of diversifying, right? And then what is goal-based investing? So another question is what is goal-based investing. So I'm just going to give you 2 seconds just to think about it. Should be straightforward. Even in the name is very straightforward. So goal-based investing is one strategy that can be used in when you're investing, right? So basically you attach a goal to your investing portfolio, right? So you're not just buying for the sake of buying or selling for the sake of selling. You have a purpose behind every stock that you buy, every security that you buy, every investment vehicle, right? And even with the goal-based investing, it helps you with why do you diversify? You start to understand it from that perspective. And then the next thing is, what is rent cost averaging? Rent cost averaging. Yes, I'm being weird. So rent cost averaging, it's not as straightforward. I guess the name sort of suggests what you're doing, but it just means that you buy stocks on a monthly basis. I'm gonna make examples using stocks because obviously I probably like stocks because I just keep on going to them as my go-to investment vehicle. But whatever investment vehicle that you are buying into, you always pour into the same amount, whether the stock market is up or down, left or right, center, whatever. That is not what you factor into rent cost averaging. You are just buying the same amount of stocks or the same amount of investment vehicle or securities every single month, and whatever that is happening, the volatility of the stock market ends up just being in your favor, because you are not looking at, is it down, is it up, is it center, is it left, right? You're just buying because every single month you want to put a certain portion towards your investment, and it ends up basically stabilizing that whole volatility, up, down, all those factors that you don't want in your investment vehicles, right? So that is what rent cost averaging is all about. And then what is value investing? So yes, that is, I think, the 7th question, somewhere there. Are we on 100%? Do we all understand? You need to go back to a certain video and watch, maybe understand some things. So yeah, so as I said, what is value investing? Value investing is buying a security when it is at a value that is less than its book value or intrinsic value, right? Intrinsic value is basically a value that determines whether or not a stock will be profitable, and profitable by how much. So if you are buying it above its intrinsic value, it means it's no longer profitable because it won't be able to achieve that value. So in the future, like whenever they project that, okay, we are currently buying it at 300, does it mean that it will be able to in the future provide like that type of return? And then if it doesn't show that it's going to be able to, then you are buying it at a value that it's above its intrinsic value. So usually when the stock market is down, people usually just sell and hedge against the market by buying things like gold or bonds and not stocks. But it doesn't mean that stocks it doesn't mean that a specific stock is bought at that value. You could find that the intrinsic value of a stock is maybe 20 bucks, but because people are selling, so this is the stock price value, not necessarily the intrinsic value, right? So the stock price is determined by the factors of the market, it going down or up, or us selling or buying, right? But that does not mean that that is the value of the stock, because the value of the stock, as I said, is determined by other factors, and not necessarily that I want to buy it or I want to sell it, right? So it's determined by its profitability. So that is the intrinsic value component of it, right? And then after I've decided that I'm shorting the stock by selling it, right, it goes to a certain, that's a stock price value, right? So maybe it's being sold at 12 bucks, but the intrinsic value is 20 bucks. So when I buy it at 12 bucks, I'm buying it at a value that's below its intrinsic value, then that is called value investing. So I hope you understand that part. 100%, we're good, we're still on the same page. Okay, so what is the one thing, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I think I have on the video regarding credit cards. What is the one thing you should never do when it comes to investing? And I did say I'm gonna stop with the clapping of my hands and just hold them together like this. Yeah, one thing you should never do when it comes to investing. There are a lot of things that you shouldn't do, right? So for me, one of the most important things is take out debt to invest. That is a big no. If red flag was a person, if red flag was was related to investment, that would be the first thing you should never do. Take out debt. The second thing I would say you should never do is buy stocks that you don't understand or you don't know anything about. If you don't, like, sometimes it's just that you go to the stock market and you just see a stock and you're like, stock, security, let me just buy you. I just feel like you'll make me money. Based on what? So, and also another thing is not understanding how an investment makes money, right? As I mentioned, there's impact investing, there's livestock investing, which is, I think, part of the alternative investment vehicles. If you don't know how exactly is livestock investments going to make you money, do not go into it. Otherwise, you're gonna lose more money than you'll ever make in your life, because you really don't understand. Oh, I'm gonna stop clapping, sorry. If you don't understand, then it's easy to what? Be conned. I can just say I'm a livestock investor, or I'm a reseller, or I'm this and this and this and this, because I know more than you do about that type of investment vehicle. And I can just sell it to you and be like, yes, give me money. And then you have this and this and this and this profit margin, that and that and that. I've talked about get rich quick schemes, and a lot of people use investment vehicles that people don't understand to actually get them into get rich quick schemes, and they will be the only ones that benefit because you might not know how the investment vehicle works. So if you don't know how it works, do not buy it. If you don't know how it works, do not invest in it. If you don't know how it works, you have no business with it. Simple fact, right? And then what is the best strategy in terms of investing? Best strategy to employ when you're investing, right? I would say there is no best strategy. That is, in my opinion, the best strategy is the one that you learn that works best for you. Sounds like a cliche, but really, to be honest, after 2 years, my short experience as an investor, I'll say the best strategy is the one that works best for you. And if you can see that yes, you're not doing the things that should be done, like your investment portfolio is still in the negatives 2 years, 3 years from now, well, after 3 years now we're going to intermediate phase. We're no longer in the basic phase where we're just like investing and hoping for the best. We now have goals. We're using goal-based investing, we're using rand cost investing, we are understanding what value investing is, we understand time horizons, we understand a lot of things, right? So those things will now help you in terms of employing the best strategy. The best strategy is made up of so many layers, so many. It's a tiered strategy. It's not one pack of like, yes, go invest on this, go invest in that, go and do this, this is how you do it, this is the way you do it. That is not the best strategy. The best strategy is the one that you employ for yourself, for your portfolio, for your goals, and so forth, right? And the other thing is, what is DIY investing? So I have a video on that, so if you haven't watched that, then that's financial literacy 101, so you better. So if this test has been chowing, you better go back. You better go back and study. I guess we'll see you next semester in this module called Financial Literacy 101. But otherwise, I hope you've been acing it so far. I'm not like you guys, I feel like, let me not even talk about university child. Ooh, odd. So okay, what is I digressed there, but sorry, I just had to make. And guys, if you're in the middle of like exams, actually, yeah, no one is in the middle of exams right now, but of studying for exams and all those things, like, good luck, guys. I wish you the best. Hey, I don't know, guys. That struggle. You, I'm gonna kutlala botlhoko sen, kutlala botlhoko. But go tla ba moja, and it's all worth it at the end of the day. But yeah, let's get into what DIY investing is. DIY investing is basically, as the name suggests, do it yourself investing. You go into a DIY investor platforms. I've mentioned what DIY investor platforms are in this video, as I've already said before. So DIY investor platforms are platforms that allow you to buy securities, and usually they're characterized by not having minimums or maintenance fees, right? And then they allow you to buy whatever you really want whenever you want to buy it. They've got fractional shares as well, so forth and so forth. So that's what DIY investing is all about. Is it the best type of investing? Nobody knows. There hasn't really been that much study. I'm not going to like say because it works for me, it'll work for you. No, that's not how investing works. And if anyone tells you that, they're probably lying. So yes, you probably win more when it comes to fees, because a lot of experts will charge you on commission on this, on expert opinion and that. Like, there's so many other hidden costs and hidden layers to what you're paying for. Whereas on DIY investing platforms, they're very transparent. That's what you're paying for, that's how you're paying for it, this is when you're paying for it. Simple, straightforward. So that's it. And then name 5 institutions where you can invest at. I've already like been dropping nuggets there and there, so you should be able to be like okay. DIY investor platforms, I can think of 3: Easy Equities, ETF SA, Frank app, right? And then in terms of traditional investment house, Coronation, PSG, Ellen Gray, Sanlam, Old Mutual, all those. I don't know if Sanlam is actually a thing. I know Old Mutual is. I don't know if Sanlam is just insurance, but I think they also do investments. And then your bank. People don't know, but banks have an investment segment, right? Where they just deal with investment, not savings, but investments. You've got places like investment houses like Stanlib. Stanlib is for Standard Bank. Also, Nedbank and Absa and FNB will have their own investment houses, in-house investment houses, right? So that's where you can invest, institutions you can invest at. And then factors to consider when investing. I don't know what I meant by this question, guys. Even me, I'm just like but anywho, I think there are quite a number of factors. I think I've already mentioned one of them in there. You should never a question, right, where you should never invest in things you don't know. You should consider maybe the time horizon, right? You should consider the fees, right? You should consider the institution and like how tied up are you going to be in this investment vehicle. Like unit trust could be that you're paying a certain amount a month, or you're paying a lump sum. So you must look into all those things, right? So I think those are the like factors that I can think of at the top of my head, but otherwise this is your exam, not mine. So but I hope you got 100%, because this is how we do, this is how we roll. 100% all year round, 100% financial literacy, so that we both feel financially savvy. So but otherwise, thank you for joining again. Thank you.